Hello, I am Joanna Adams, one of the Open Research team based in the library. Today, I'm going to tell you about open access and the University of Aberdeen Research Publications Policy. First of all, what is open access? Open access means that digital literature such as journal articles, books and chapters is freely available online for anyone to read without barriers. Many research funders, including UKRI, Wellcome, and also the REF, require that your research outputs are made open access. As well as complying with funder and REF open access policies, open access has many benefits for the researcher. The more people that see your work, the better, the more impact you will have in your area. The University of Aberdeen implemented our research publications policy in May 2023. It has a rights retention element, which helps our authors keep the rights to their own work. It means that they can achieve immediate open access on publication for the accepted manuscript, that is your peer-reviewed, corrected but unformatted final draft of an article. It means that you can publish where you like, but still comply with funder and REF open access requirements. All you need to do is include a simple statement with your submissions, and I will go into details of the workflow. Aberdeen was an early adopter of the institutional rights retention policy, but now many other institutions have similar policies, and also many funders use the same mechanism. Policy originally applied to journal articles and conference papers, but from November 2024, it has been extended to include long-form outputs. So there's two routes to open access. You either publish your final article, chapter, book, immediately open access through your publisher, so on their web pages or platform. That could be gold open access, where you typically pay a fee to publish open access. Could be diamond, where the publication costs are covered by the publisher, or if you're publishing an article, you might find a journal that is covered through the institutional open access agreements and the article processing charges paid by the institution. The other option is to publish behind a paywall and deposit a copy of the peer-reviewed, unformatted, accepted manuscript, the author's final draft, open access in an institutional or subject repository. That is called green open access, and that is where the research publications policy and rights retention applies. Either of these routes are compliant with funder and REF open access requirements. First of all, rights retention for articles. Because the publishing workflow is different for articles and for long-form publications, when you write an article, you automatically own the copyright to your work. When you publish in a subscription-based journal, the publisher will typically ask you for exclusive rights to the article. So you hand over all of your rights, but are licensed certain rights back. This means the publisher can reuse and sell the research however they like, including to the library who pays to subscribe to the journal. But you as the author need to request permission from the publisher to share or reuse your own research. So you can't make it open in an institutional repository until after embargo. You can't share it on social networks, can't translate it, can't use it in your teaching, etc., etc. So the University of Aberdeen's research publications policy is here to support our researchers in keeping the rights to their accepted manuscript. All you need to do when you submit an article for publication is include the rights retention statement in the acknowledgement section, and if you write a covering letter. Just one sentence. For the purpose of open access, the author has applied a Creative Commons Attribution, CC BY, license to any author-accepted manuscript version arising. That lets the publisher know that you will be keeping the rights to your accepted manuscript and you will be sharing it as required. Email paper accepted with a copy of your accepted manuscript and the confirmation of acceptance from the publisher, and our team will upload that to Pure on your behalf, making sure that it meets funder open access requirements. Now, for long form publications, the principle is the same. You hand over your rights to the publisher when you sign a license to publish, but using the rights retention via the research publications policy means that you can share your accepted manuscript as you like. Because the workflow for publishing long form is a little bit different, we recommend that you discuss your open access requirements with your publisher at the book or chapter proposal stage. Open access for long form is a newer landscape than for journals, which has been established for quite a while. So we're more flexible. You can make your accepted manuscript open access within 12 months of publication. We recommend a CC-BY license for maximum reuse, but you can use a choice of Creative Commons license as long as it meets your funder requirements. If you have funder requirements, third-party materials in the output can be licensed under a different license as required. And again, if you just email paper accepted with a copy of the accepted manuscript and confirmation from the publisher, and we will upload to Pure. At the moment, because the policy is quite new for long form, just in November last year, we expect that anything that you're publishing at the moment would have had the license signed sometime before November, and we wouldn't expect you to have used rights retention there. So what we would recommend for the moment is many publishers do allow you to deposit the accepted manuscript, especially of chapters, in the institutional repository just now. So get in touch with the Open Research team and we'll check that out for you. But for the next time you're thinking about publishing a book or a chapter, get in touch with us and we can talk you through your options. If you are not familiar with the Creative Commons licenses, these are a suite of licenses that the author applies to their work and sets out the conditions of how they want the work to be shared and reused. So the CC-BY is the most liberal license. It allows the work to be shared, reused, built upon. With all of the licenses, credit must be given to the creator. If you want your work to be shared and reused, but not for commercial purposes, you can use the CC-BY NC, non-commercial purposes only license. If you want your work to be shared, but you don't want any derivative works to be made from it, then you use the ND license. The CC-BY license is usually mandated by funders for articles. You may apply for an exception to use the CC-BY no derivatives license, but for long form, depending on your funder, CC-BY is usually the preferred license, but you might be permitted to use the license of your choice, and we would advise that you check that. Now, I should have said there is no requirement for long form outputs to be made open access for the upcoming REF 2029, but there will be for future REFs after that. So these are some of the main funders that we deal with that have open access policies. They all have open access requirements for journal articles, but some of them have got for books as well. So UKI, Wellcome, the European Commission. This is just a small set of funders. If you're funded by a different funder, then please check your contact to make sure that you're aware of any open access requirements. And again, contact the Open Research team if you need any help with that. So all the funders have got slightly different policies, but typically they will require open access, either on acceptance or on publication. They will likely require a Creative Commons license. It's usually a CC-BY. You might use the Open Government Licence if you or one of your co-authors are subject to common copyright. You can apply for some funders with a CC BY-ND exception if you don't want derivative works to be made, but you usually have to have good reason for that. Get more choice on the licence for your long-form outputs, and there may be funding for open access from some funders. We do have limited funds in our central block grants for UKI, Wellcome and British Heart Foundation. The mechanism of how funds are provided for open access depends on the funder. And when there's not funds available, that's when you go for green open access and use the rights retention. The REF open access requirements have just changed recently. So they will apply to articles and conference papers accepted for publication from the 1st of January 2026. Prior to that, you will continue to follow the REF 2021 requirements. I'm not going to go into all the details just now, but really all you need to know is that most of you will be submitting outputs to REF, or if you're not, your co-authors probably will be. So using the research publications policy, applying the rights retention to all of your journal articles will ensure that you're compliant. And just remember to email paper accepted and get them added to Pure, and that just keeps it nice and simple for you. If you're not familiar with our systems at the university, Pure is the university's research information system, and that is where all of our research information goes. So not just your outputs, but also data sets, activities, awards, prizes, any research information should go there. Where the full text of our output is uploaded to Pure, that will be sent to ORA, the institutional repository, where the full text is made open access. And then we'll have the public research portal, and that is like a giant CV for the university, where all of the public information in Pure is made freely available online for anyone to read. So it's really important that you keep your Pure record up to date, because it's not just used for the REF submission, but it also increases the visibility of your work and that of the institution. And if you can email paper accepted whenever you have an output accepted for publication, and we will help you to get that added. It also works with other systems like ORCID. You can upload articles from the bibliographic databases like Scopus and Web of Science. So it saves a lot of manual entry as well, keeping Pure up to date and working with the other systems. These are just some screenshots of the systems. So it's all web-based and they're very easy to use. There are instructions here online as well. So when you're thinking about publishing a journal, the first thing I would do is check if there is a suitable title covered by one of our publisher open access agreements. The institution has agreements with many publishers where corresponding authors based at the University of Aberdeen can publish open access in participating journals with the costs covered by the agreement. And publishing through these agreements automatically means that you're compliant with funder and REF open access requirements. If you have got research funding, you can check whether you might be able to pay article processing charge and APC to publish gold open access. You might find a diamond open access journal where the publisher covers the publication fees, and so there's no charge to publish open access. But if not, then you take the green open access route and you include that rights retention statement with your submission. And that will also make sure that you're funder and REF open access compliant. There are some tools like the Open Policy Finder or the Journal Checker tool where you can check a journal complies with funder or REF open access requirements. We do recommend that you use them with caution. the information often changes quite quickly and it's not always totally up to date. But again, any questions, just get in touch with the Open Research team and we can check for you. You might also like the Think, Check, Submit checklist, and that helps you evaluate a publication before you decide if that is somewhere that you want to publish your work. If you're publishing long form, so a book or a chapter, first of all, think, do you have to meet funder open access requirements? If you do, check, you might be able to publish gold open access, there might be money available to you. You might get a diamond open access publisher, which doesn't charge you, or again, you can take the green route to open access. So just discuss your requirements with your publisher. There is also a Think, Check, Submit checklist to evaluate publishers for books and chapters, which I think is really helpful. And of course, any other questions, just email the Open Research team. So just to sum up, it's really important that you make your research open access, not just to comply with funder and ref open access requirements, but so that you and your peers get the benefits of the information as well, and just the general benefit to society. Some funders will have open access requirements, ref open access requirements for most of us. Use the open access agreements for the journal articles where you can. And don't forget to apply the Research Publications Policy Rights Retention Statement with your submissions. Keep your up to date, email paper accepted, and of course, just contact us at the Open Research if you have got any questions. We are on Blue Sky, so if you're on social media as well, give us a follow and you'll be able to keep up to date with all of our news and events. Okay, thank you for listening.